Welcome to the wireless section. Let's start by exploring the benefits of a wireless network over a wired network. The benefit of a wired network is mobility, flexibility, scalability. The wireless networks enables that you can bring your own device. The wireless network sometimes is more cost effective than the wired one. When we say mobility, it is the biggest attraction towards going to wireless, because in most of the times we need to be mobile inside the place, and at the same time we need to access the network. We need to be online. We have so many mobile devices nowadays, such as the laptops, mobile phones, and the tablets. These devices can access the network through the wireless connection while you are moving. Mobility enables access anywhere, in the corners, in the corridors, in the meeting rooms. Any of these devices can access the network through wireless connection from the corners, from the corridors, from the meeting rooms. And as well, you can have mobile voice over IP phones. You can have mobile sets for the voice over IP phones that can be handled anywhere inside the building. The flexibility is another attraction in the wireless network. It enables the ease of setup and change. You do not need to fix wires inside the place. You do not need to change the infrastructure. I mean the civil infrastructure of the place. You do not need to dig inside the wall to fix cables. You do not need wiring hassle. You can enable the guest access inside the place. The guest that is temporary inside the place and passing some time inside the place can be enabled through the wireless network. You can allow to work remotely. You can allow to access any server remotely from another place where the server room is away from. You allow for freedom of operations. You can separate the persons working in different departments, in different rooms, and they can still connect to each other wirelessly and connect to the network wirelessly. It allows freedom, which is some sort of mobility and some sort of flexibility in changing the place, in the setup of the place, in the movement of persons using the network. Wireless networks allows for scalability. You can expand the network easily. A machine can enter or leave the network easily, much more easier than the wired infrastructure. You have saved cables. You saved connecting devices such as the switches and the routers. You saved them and replaced them by a wireless access point. You saved the outlets that exist in the wall to connect the cables to the wired infrastructure. There are no outlets here in the wireless network. It is just the access point that connects wirelessly to the other devices. You can easily add a machine to the wireless network. You do not need to add an outlet in the wall for this extra machine, or to remove an outlet in the wall if this machine leaves. This machine can be handled by a person who can enter the place and add it to the network so easily, and can leave the place and remove it from the network with the same easiness. Scalability also means that you have the capability of relocation inside the building. You can change the functionality of any room from a meeting room to an office or vice versa. You can have less planning overhead. You do not need to plan the room from the beginning till the end to be a meeting room. It can be a meeting room for some time and then an office, an ordinary office for the rest of the day. So it does not need to be planned to be something that is fixed. Scalable speed of connection. The speed of connection for this network is scalable. It can be adapted to the variety of devices connecting. It can be adapted to the fast mobile phone if it is smart, and to the slow mobile phone or laptop if it is something old model. You can connect the hard to reach areas, the areas that can be hardly connected through the wired infrastructure can be easily reached through the wireless network and through the access point. You can enable here the concept of bring your own device with you to the place. We have variety of devices, laptops, mobile phones, tablets that can be brought to the place to connect to the wireless network, and you have ease of network establishment inside a meeting room, inside a training center, inside an office, inside a canteen. Just connect the wireless access point to the ceiling of this room, and it is now a separate network and also a connected network to the wired infrastructure through one access point that connects these devices to the wired infrastructure and enables these devices to move and receives the wireless signals emitted from these devices to the access point and to the wired infrastructure and so forth. Wireless networks are cost effective. You save the cost of cables, you save the cost of connecting devices, you save the cost of outlets, you save the cost of so many switches with somehow cheaper access points and somehow less in number access points. You save the labor costs that are involved in wiring. You save the labor costs that are involved in digging the wall and spreading the wired infrastructure inside the walls of the building. You save some civil work that is needed to allow for the cables to pass inside the building, to cut the walls and the floors and the ceilings, to allow or to establish a path for the cables to pass through inside the building. You save all of this, and you save the cost, of course, of the devices, the end devices as well, since your guests or your trainees or your conference attendees can bring their own devices, their own mobile devices into your premises, connect to your network, and then take their devices back. So you do not have to buy them any devices and to offer them any devices on your own. If we have a very small comparison between the wired and the wireless infrastructure, we can say that the wireless has many advantages, but it is not a perfect solution. We must mix both technologies in the network, wired and wireless. The access point just connects the wireless devices to the wired infrastructure. You must have a wired core network and a wireless access network connecting the communicating devices to the wired core infrastructure. A wired infrastructure must exist at most of the cases to be the infrastructure of the place and to be routed and to be connected to the internet, and then it can end with wireless terminals that can be mobile and can be moving inside the place. Wireless has advantages in offering a healthy environment inside the place. It avoids the electromagnetic interference. It avoids being shocked by the electrical signals traveling inside a wire. It saves all of this and offers somehow a healthier environment inside the place. It offers a safe premises for working because no falling over cables inside the place will take place or will occur, and you will have less cables mixing with water in the cleaning process, in the water flooding process. You will have less dangerous situations since cables are less. So if there is water existing inside the place, you will find that less cables are susceptible to mix with them, and less people are falling over the cables existing in the place. Thank you.
Subscribe now and press the bell icon. Never miss an update.